Full Spectrum Survival on Survival Talk Radio. Join us for Dad Talks, political debates, and pro-gun conversation.
Metro Security Services, based out of Pleasanton, California, servicing the Northern California Bay Area. For all your security needs, please call Metro Security Services out of Pleasanton, California.
Tell them Dan Shrigley sent you.
Hi, you're listening to Survival Talk Radio with me, your host, Dan Shrigley. Come and learn survival.
Tempest to your land, whether you live survival talk radio. We like survival talk radio. Tempest to your land.
Survive this. That has got to be my favorite song in the world. Hello, everybody. Hey, this episode is dedicated to all of you who, in the last few days, have been actually contacting me with a very particular request. You're saying, hey, Daniel, how do I get on to Naked and Afraid, the TV series? I've been asked by this for people that live out of the country and live in Brazil. I've been asked this by people here in the United States. I've been asked this by even people that I work with on a daily basis. Like, how do I do that? I would like to do that. And I'll tell you all the little trade secrets I have about what I did to kind of get my name out there and get discovered. And it takes some work. It really takes a little bit of work. It's not easy. It doesn't come easy. You really have to stand out. And I'm going to talk about that in great detail. And I hope you enjoy the show today. I hope that what I share with you kind of opens your eyes and realizes that you're going to have to put a little groundwork in, But, hey, I did it. So I speak from experience, and I'm going to share my story with you. And I hope that it is something that you can take in, apply it to what you're doing, and I think the functions will work for you, regardless of if you are seeking to do something in the survival industry, or maybe you're looking to do something else. But I wanted to say thank you to all my subscribers and everybody that's been sharing the content. I really appreciate it. I can see in the show's analytics that it's growing, and that's what it's all about. Stay tuned for a word from our sponsor.
Metro Security Services, based out of Pleasanton, California, servicing the Northern California Bay Area. For all your security needs, please call Metro Security Services out of Pleasanton, California.
Tell them Dan Shrigley sent you.
Metro Security Services, a great security company. So great that I have attached myself to it as a security consultant, and I do marketing, and I'm also the patrol division supervisor. So it's a great company. If you have needs for security services in the Northern California Bay Area, give them a call. Google search their name, get their information, and reach out to them. It's a great company. It's a growing company. It's not too big. It's not too small. It's about the right size. I know that they're currently working on expanding their patrol base, and they have some really good luxury contracts in San Francisco. It's not rare for me to see some NBA superstars for the NBA, like the Warriors and stuff. So it's pretty neat to be sitting there, and I'll see Draymond Green walking by. Hey, say hello. Very nice man, very nice family, has a cute puppy, and other basketball stars come by too. But that's just one property that we have in San Francisco. We have properties around the Bay Area. I'm currently working on myself with the company to expanding their patrol division in Pleasanton, Dublin, Livermore, San Ramon, Alamo, Blackhawk, and Walnut Creek. And so pretty much up the 680 corridor, maybe even going down south into a little bit of Fremont eventually. But we do have properties over in the East Bay. So it's a great company, and I've attached myself to it to help it grow. That's kind of what I do. I have a knack for finding contracts. I have a knack for advising a company on how to grow. And I see nothing but great horizons ahead for Metro Security Services based out of Pleasanton, California. So getting back to the topic at hand, what I did was I really focused on my social media accounts for one. I had to brand them. And so that's really important that you brand it, and that you try to keep your social media account content specific. It's real important. And using the appropriate hashtags for that content. And using hashtags that would attract a producer for that's doing casting calls or open casting calls or even closed casting calls, where it's by invitation only, towards you. And it wouldn't hurt if you can get a talent agent, because that will also help, or a talent manager. But it's not required that you have talent representation to get onto a reality-based television show, or what I call life TV. So what I found is it really helped to have a vanity website. So I have daniel-shrigley.com, and on that website, it's a survival platform for me, where I can drive all my social media traffic from the social media sphere to that website, where that's the goal. I take my social media traffic and drive it to that website. And then what's on that website would be like my merch, links to my radio show, links to my bio, links to everything pertaining to me in the entertainment industry, like my IMDb, other casting platforms, and then my blog, my survival blog, my photos page, video page, whatever. But everything I use in the social media sphere of all the platforms, driving it to my vanity website. And of course, in that sphere of social media platforms, I'm using the appropriate hashtags. And the other key thing is networking within that specific industry. So obviously my industry was survival and outdoors. So I was networking with bushcrafters, knife makers, survival experts. And also I started doing podcasts like this. And I initially started doing a co-hosting podcast called Survival Northwest, with Travis Johnson, a great man, a great survival expert. He's been doing it for I would say, excuse me, I would say he's been doing it for, 20-something plus years now. Maybe 24 years, maybe, something like that. He's been out there for quite a long time running a survival school out of Spokane, Washington. And so he does promote through social media. He has a great school. So if you're really interested in taking a really qualified, accredited survival school, go to Spokane, Washington, and look up Northwest Survival School. And the owner is named Travis Johnson. And he is a premier expert. You really can't get any better, and you definitely couldn't do any worse than to go to his school. And he's accredited, so I believe they do. If you're a veteran and you have the Montgomery GI Bill, you can use your GI Bill to pay to go through the school and get all your certifications. He does beginner, novice, beginner, intermediate, and he even teaches you how to become an instructor, a survival instructor. And he has courses like that. So check him out and look him up on Google. It's Northwest Survival School. And it's out of Spokane, Washington. So look him up on Google. Follow him on social media. So the one thing that I would say you really need to do is focus on your branding. It always helps to have imagery. It helps to have video. It helps to have something that makes you stand out, that you can attract a following. Now, you do not need to have a huge following. You need to show the propensity that you can attract a following, because they want to, the producers being they, want to put someone on television that's going to attract an audience by their personality, by their talent, their skill, whatever it may be. But there's always an agenda in a production as to what they want to accomplish with their series. And so if you're looking to get on Naked and Afraid, you're going to want to start doing videos of you. You can do self videos where you're filming yourself, but it's always better to have someone filming you. It's always better because they can follow you around. And then you can also include some self videos, but high video quality, the best quality you can. So right now, like if you own an iPhone 13 or whatever, or iPhone 12, most of these phones now are shooting in 4K. So that's good. Always shoot in wide angle, because that's what they're going to want to look at. So don't hold your phone upright. Hold it sideways. If you're going to use your phone to film videos, I would say I would recommend go get a GoPro, go buy a actual nice camera, put it on a tripod, get a tall tripod, get a short tripod. It wouldn't hurt to get an aerial drone that shoots 4K so you can get some aerial view, work on your filmmaking a little bit. But all this is not necessarily required. What's required really of you is to show you have skill. And you don't have to be an expert to get on these shows. You just have to show the fortitude that you think you can make it and survive the challenge. And so, forgive me, folks. I just turned 49 and had some coffee, and now I feel like I have heartburn. So if you hear me making some weird noises, it's just because I have a little discomfort. Hopefully it'll go away. Usually it does. What I would say is, headshots. Even if you're not an actor, even if you're not a real estate agent, even if you're not a model, have some professional headshots done. It's not that expensive to go to a photographer and just get some headshots made of you, and look your best. Look your best. Have 1 or 2, maybe 3 headshots wearing a different outfit, different shirt, whatever. Do your makeup if you're a female. Then do some headshots of you or some photos of you posing or being in the natural environment outside so they can see what you look like. you're showing them what you look like at your best, and sometimes even at your most challenged. I wouldn't say worst, because, they're not looking for you to be at your worst. They're just looking for you to be challenged. So if you do Tough Mudder, if you do some competition and you're all muddy and stuff, they're going to love that. They're going to eat that up. And another thing is, if you do get that phone call from a producer, they like big personality. They really like you to be like confident, because the bigger your personality is in that audition, especially that initial phone call where they want to talk to you on the phone, they're going to try to drive you to set an appointment to do a video conference call. And I have advice about going about that. You're going to want to pick a very nice, quiet, well-manicured area, a very clean area with a nice backdrop with good lighting, but very quiet, and with a good, strong internet Wi-Fi connection, so you don't have an interrupted interview with them, because chances are that's how they're going to want to interview you is via a video conference on whatever service they're using. Could be Zoom, could be whatever service they're using. But that heartburn's kicking in, so forgive me. I gotta fight through it. Well, I think I drank too fast. So anyway, your website. Make your website real easy to maneuver through. Don't make it too complicated. You want people to look at your website and stay on your website. You don't want to make it too difficult to navigate. And you want enough information there that they can find what they're looking for rapidly. So you want to put your video links, radio show links, podcast links, whatever it is that you're doing, to where they can get to it with great ease. And then, so don't make it too cluttered, Actually, when it comes to your website, kind of the most simple, the better, and especially if you're doing it yourself, and you're not a professional web developer or designer. But they have platforms out there with good templates. It makes it pretty easy for you. The other thing is knowing who to approach. So I would recommend if you're a survival person by happenstance, you're in the survival adventure spectrum, or maybe you're an actress or an actor or a model or something, and you're trying to, or maybe you're a professional chef, but you're trying to get onto a show. You're going to want to start hashtagging that network, or not just the network, but more importantly than the network, that your dream network. Like mine at the time was Discovery Channel, and I got to be on it. But it wasn't Discovery Channel that recruited me. It was a production company that produces content or shows for Discovery Channel. I also, have been recruited for a production company that produces shows for NBC, History Channel, Travel Channel, for different shows, but I only chose one. Well, actually, I chose three. But the ratings for the first season on one of the shows was so horrible, they canceled the second one, and I was going to be on the second season for a show that was on NBC. And it's where they take people that know nothing, and they're signed with an expert who takes them out. And I can't remember the name of the show because it was so many years ago, but it was, the winner of the show was some person, and then it was a Boy Scout master. And they ended up winning. And I think they each got they got $500,000. I'm not sure of the winnings actually, but I know they got paid for it. So that's about it. Metal Flowers Media is a company that does a lot of reality shoots, and then Renegade 83. Stand by.
Daniel-shrigley, America's survival song. Daniel-shrigley, America's survival song.
sorry about that, but I had to take a quick break real quick. So one of the things that I learned in the process for being discovered was Twitter is a really strong tool if you want to break into getting onto television shows like reality shows, because they do a lot of recruiting off of that. They do a little recruiting on Facebook, maybe a little recruiting on Instagram, but I think they really like going to target specific platforms. So Twitter was it. Twitter was a main one that they like to recruit off of for auditions. So when they contact you, just because they're contacting you doesn't mean that you're in like Flynn. You know, you still have to audition. And that's where I mentioned before, have a bubbly, outgoing personality, have confidence. And they're going to ask you questions like, how do you get along with other people? They're going to run a background check on you, make sure you don't have any, criminal background. And they do a real thorough background check, very thorough. They are going to check, make sure you don't have any restraining orders. They're going to check for a lot of stuff. And, so it's real important that you are free and clear of anything like that. So if you have an open restraining order, you're probably not going to get casted. If you have any domestic violence, you're probably not going to get casted, because they don't want that. They don't want to be attached to that. They don't want that bad publicity popping up later. If you have felonies, probably not going to get casted. Most likely not. It's not a guarantee, though. It depends on how long ago it was and what it is. I'm sure they have some, times on the show where they've had people that have had a background, like, Dog the Bounty Hunter has had a felony in his background, but yet he's all over TV. So, so remember, it's a guideline, but it's better that you have not these things in your background. The other thing is, we talked about headshots, talked about social media presence. So you're going to want to have like a strong following, but it doesn't have to be in huge numbers, but it does look good if you do attract an audience. And so, when I mentioned earlier about, keeping your content kind of target specific, the one thing that the casting networks are not going to want to be a part of is political drama. So, avoid the political drama. If you're going to use your platform to promote yourself for getting on TV, now in the survival industry, it's predominantly a very conservative type mindset ideology. Pro-gun, doomsday prepper, veterans, law enforcement kind of thing. But it is not really wise to use that same account if you're going to be very political. Because, they're trying to attract an audience that's neutral. So I'll give you an example. Les Stroud, bear-grylls. Les Stroud and bear-grylls. Bear-grylls really, truly avoids politics altogether. He's everybody's friend, and that's the persona he pushes out. He also doesn't live in the United States. Les Stroud is Canadian. He also doesn't live in the United States because he's Canadian, but he is competitive, and he has had words about his opinions related to bear-grylls, but you never hear bear-grylls say anything about Les Stroud, because Les Stroud just avoids it. And I don't even know if bear-grylls even controls his social media accounts. He probably has a whole team that works his public image, whereas Les Stroud has a more direct impact on his social media. Both are great guys. Both are, pretty much grandfathers in the survival industry for filming on major television networks. And we must not forget Ray Mears, because he was out before any of them, putting out survival videos and very high quality ones as well. So, and there's several others out there that did the same. But reality-based, contestant-based, cast member-based type shows like Alone, Ultimate Ninja Challenge was the name of the show that I did for Discovery Channel, and that was a high-impact drama. There was challenges, but it wasn't necessarily focused about survival. It had a little bit of survival stuff in it, but it was more about focused on challenges of the Kuji principles of the Shinobi ninja designed by the Grandmaster Ninja Inichi Kawakami out of Iga City, Japan, the headquarters of the Ninja Museum. And Inichi Kawakami is the curator at the time. I'm sure he still is, but I'm not sure. I'm kind of assuming he'll be so until he probably gets too old. But he's probably still the curator, of the Ninja Museum. If you ever get a chance, go to Iga City in Japan and go visit the Ninja Museum and the Ninja House. Incredible. And my experience in Japan was great. Meeting everybody, all the, just the culture. There's such a nice, polite people when you're a guest in their country. Respect their rules, but you'll see a lot of cool things that you don't see in the States. One example is when you walk up to a vending machine to get a drink in Japan, you get to choose hot or cold. And so if you order a cold coffee, then you get a cold can of coffee. But if you order a hot coffee, you get a can that they heated up, and it's hot coffee in a can. And I never thought about heating up my coffee in a can before, because I usually drink once in a while, not all the time, but once in a while I'll drink like a Starbucks or a Peet's coffee in a can. And I never thought about heating it before my visit to Japan. It's really nice to drink, pop open a warm can and drink it. And the food there was great too, and I really enjoyed the food. Although the portions were small, I always had to double up the portions. So you figure for a portion of Japanese food, it was about $15 to go out and eat some Japanese food. I always was spending like $30 every meal because I'm used to eating more, I wanted to eat till I was full, so I can go several hours without eating again. But the food was great, and the people and the culture was great, and it was a wonderful experience all the way around. And I have no regrets on going there ever. So if you're trying to get onto Naked and Afraid, then the casting company that you want to reach out to is called Renegade 83 out of Sherman Oaks, California. And they do Naked and Afraid XL, and whatever version of Naked and Afraid that they're on. But that's who you would reach out to, and the best way to directly reach out to them is on their website, through their Contact Us, or if they have, sometimes they'll have casting calls on their website for shows that they're currently casting for, and just follow the instructions and prompts. But you got to remember that how many other people are approaching them. Could be hundreds or thousands of people. I don't know, but it could be a lot. So I would say the better way is to make yourself attractive to them on social media when they go and search the word survival, survivalist, professional chef, because they go scouting using keywords in the search bar. They'll open up the website to Twitter. They'll open up their app on their phone to Twitter, whatever device they're using. But they're going to go to the search bar of that platform, and they're going to type in those keywords. And your whole goal in life is to become top on the return for that research, to get listed up top. the higher up the ladder you are, the better that they're going to reach out for you. And so if that's Instagram, if that's whatever, but then you have to have your niche. So, what you're specializing at, and so I will say this, when I'm looking around the television, I'm not seeing a lot of survival shows now. They are kind of getting played out, and there's been several. And, even my TV show, Ultimate Ninja Challenge, that I was on, we aired 6 out of 8 episodes, actually 7. So there was a introductory episode that aired first, then the season started. So if you count that introductory episode, it was probably 7 episodes aired. But out of the actual season, 6 of 8 episodes aired, and then they didn't air the 7th and the 8th one, the final ones. So if you want to see the 7th and the 8th ones, then you need to go to Discovery Plus or Discovery Go, or Google search Ultimate Ninja Challenge and purchase the show. But if you have an account with Discovery Plus, where you stream a bunch of stuff off of that, like on your Roku device or whatever, or on your phone, on your app, then you can watch the show off that without buying the episodes. But if you want to go to like Apple TV, download Ultimate Ninja Challenge to watch the show that I was in, then you would have to buy the episodes or the season through Apple TV. But I would say, if you know your niche, then start using the appropriate hashtags that drive traffic to you through the hashtag and gets you listed at the top of the videos. And so, and make your hashtags appropriate as well. And, so getting back to imagery, I didn't just stop with headshots. I had to learn how to make my own graphics and stuff like that to attract people's attention, to drive traffic to my social media, to get subscribers or followers, and then also push it to whatever content that I was trying to move, like be it my radio show or a video or whatever, or an article that I wrote, like The Psychology of Survival, or the Survivor's Creed that I came up and wrote a creed for, because I felt like the industry needed to have a creed for survival. So if you want to find that, you could probably type Survivor's Creed space and put by space Daniel-Shrigley. It should pop up in Google. I'm sure it should. But yeah, I wrote the Survivor's Creed. If you go to my blog at daniel-shrigley.com, and then go to my blog tab, and then you can go read all my articles that I've posted. But yeah, I would definitely say avoid politics. Avoid talking about who you're voting for, who you voted for, who you're against, all that stuff. Just avoid it, because you're always going to have someone that's a decision maker that might be polar opposite of what you are. And they might not want to have you on their show. And so it's probably better to just avoid it altogether, unless you have your own platform. So, and I would say this, maybe being on TV isn't everything, because if, I waited at the advisement of the so-called experts. I was always told, do not put content on YouTube about survival if you ever want to get on TV doing survival, because the networks want first look. They want the world to see you for the first time on their network. And it made sense when they told me that. But, for the TV series that I filmed, I made more than 7,000, but less than 10,000 for going out for 28 or 20 it was like 24 days of a challenge on set. And then 6 days, I think it was, traveling to Japan and doing all the extra stuff in Japan. And then coming home. and then going back to do a reunion episode that never aired, but you could see it as the last episode if you stream the show or download the show. And that's the thing with TV shows. You never know if it's going to be a hit or not, or movies, so like Matrix, they just came out with Matrix Resurrection. It bombed at the office, and I watched Matrix Resurrection with Keanu Reeves, and I always wish Keanu Reeves success. He's one of my favorite public personalities, on film and in his personal life. He's a great guy, humble. So, it sucks that if he has something that bombs, it sucks, because, I want the best for that guy. He deserves it. He deserves every ounce of success he gets, because his personality is so awesome. But unfortunately, even I was let down by the new Matrix movie. And I'm not trying to give bad press to it. I'm just giving my, I was let down. I still enjoyed watching it just to see, the story unfold, maybe come to the conclusion, and to see Keanu Reeves, but, at the same time, I was like, man, I was hoping for something more, and maybe you're of a different opinion, and I have to appreciate your opinion, too. Maybe you liked it, and that's fine. We're all entitled to our opinions, and I'm not going to say that yours is less valuable than mine. Maybe mine's less valuable, so, but the point is, I wished him success, but the box office, isn't really looking favorable, and, maybe he'll make it up the loss on, streaming, but I personally felt like the movie was lacking. So to get off of Matrix, but to drive the point home, is we never know what's going to be a success or not. And when we're making something, we always think, oh, this is going to be great. I can't wait to see it on film and all that stuff. And then when you see it, oh, man, they cut that out. They didn't show that. And, oh, I wish they would have showed that, or my side of the story, Especially if you have a bunch of drama, like my show has a bunch of drama. And the drama a lot of the time is centered around me. Because I just didn't get along with with a few of the cast members, And when I watched the show, I was like, man, I wish I would have done that different, or I wish I didn't say that. Yeah, I was kind of acting like a jerk, I did act like a jerk, sometimes. I was too, egocentric. I wish I was the Daniel then. I wish I was the Daniel that I am now, but back then, more humble, and so, and I think that was my problem, is I wasn't being humble with some of the cast members. I was being egocentric, and but that's what was being preached to me by some of the producers, and they were trying to drive that, and the reason why they're trying to drive that is because they did want that very outgoing, eccentric personality to come out. So part of my personality you see on camera isn't really my true personality. It was a little bit of acting involved with that. Maybe my cast members didn't know, but what I was being told in my ear before, during casting and being interviewed and kind of things, and then it was one thing versus another. But it didn't look good on camera. So I would do some things a little different. But you definitely want to put out your content and show that you really are badass at what you do. You want to show that off. You want to welcome the world to watch what you're able to teach and show off on film. But I advise you be humble in person. Be humble on camera. It'll look better. I learned that lesson personally. So Metal Flowers Media does a lot of shows, reality shows. Renegade A3 does a lot of reality shows. So look up those two companies. I'm going to cut this show off so I can go take care of my heartburn. And I hope you guys have a wonderful 2022. And we'll talk to you later.
Metro Security Services, based out of Pleasanton, California, servicing the Northern California Bay Area. For all your security needs, please call Metro Security Services out of Pleasanton, California.
Tell him Dan Shrigley sent you.
Hi, you're listening to Survival Talk Radio with me, your host, Dan Shrigley. Come and learn survival.